no doubt, no hesitation, take Luka Doncic with the number 1 overall pick. Luka Doncic is the guard wing 2-3 from Real Madrid and Barcelona. He's 18, 19 years old. He's spent the last 3 or 4 years since he's 16 playing professional basketball against men. Much higher level than NCAA.
Luka Doncic is owning the NBA this year and claiming a spot as one of the best players in the league. He has already surpassed expectations of him when he was drafted so early in last year's draft, and then some. Today, we look into this man's insane beginning to his career and figure out how this 20-year-old is going to be an MVP candidate this season, as well as the future face of the NBA. Luka has been up to no good so far this season for the Mavs, just putting up ridiculous numbers night after night, as well as turning these performances into wins. While it's still early in the year, it's easy to tell Luka is once again impressing us all, and I'm ready to say it. He is the future face of the NBA, and here's why. Luka seems to be breaking a record every single night, and a majority of them seem to be related to his age. This is because no one has done what he's been doing so damn fast. It seems like every single night I hear Luka's name mentioned with LeBron or Magic Johnson, related to some new youngest player to do whatever the case may be. For those of you that forgot, Luka was already playing pro overseas for years, and he wasn't just an average player, alright? Nonetheless, he came to the NBA to make an immediate impact and in a hurry. Last year, he showed he already has the tools to do pretty much everything, averaging about 21 points, 8 rebounds, and 6 assists per game, and I'm not sure we have seen a player come to the NBA so skilled and having all the tools already like Luka. Going into his sophomore year, most expected him to improve, which seemed more than likely, but not like this. Luka is averaging a damn near 30-point triple-double for the season. That's almost unbelievable for any player to accomplish, but a second-year player? Get the out of here. So, is this a long-term thing, and will teams figure him out? The answer is no. Luka is the perfect, and I mean perfect, prototype for the future NBA as we know it. First of all, he came into the NBA at a very young age, but already so seasoned. He was the most hyped European prospect ever, and possibly the most accomplished as well. In his final season in Spain, he was named MVP in arguably the second best league in the world at just 18 years old. He was the EuroLeague MVP as well as the Final Four MVP and led his team to the title. So this kid already had years of professional basketball experience. He has become not only a professional player in the NBA, but one of the best. His skill set was very clear, and it was just a matter of whether he would be able to translate it to the speed of the NBA, and Luka has proven to have figured it all out rather quickly. It seems like every night Luka is doing something new to showcase his versatility and skills. But the number one reason Luka is the future of the NBA is because of his creativity and him basically following in the footsteps of what the NBA is turning into and the perfect fit for where the NBA is heading. Luka has walked in and immediately adapted to the future of the NBA. The three-pointer or layup/dunk attempt shot selection. Basically, where you either shoot a three or drive it to the rim for a very high percentage take. There is no in-between game. A technique where if it doesn't work out can actually drive coaches, fans, and pretty much everyone crazy. Some would say Harden really cemented the idea into the current NBA and is pretty much the recipe for developing wings nowadays, but add Luka's solid shooting ability with his unique fakes, dribbling ability, hesitations, overall just bag of tricks, and how he's just able to get easy looks at the rim in an isolation setting, as well as step back threes, whatever he wants. His unique moves and fakes in ISO situations also lead to a lot of help defense, and Luka's court vision creates many assists for the kid. His usage rating is over 35%, which is good for third in the league, and as just a second year player, it must be for a good reason. He leads the NBA in win shares as well as player efficiency rating, so he is obviously going to have the ball in his hands when he's going to be that efficient. So now we're thinking, how does he lead the NBA in player efficiency rating? And first of all, it's easy to look at. He shoots 50% from the field and just under 35% from three, which that's already pretty fucking good as it is. But now we take a look at his shot chart and we notice that over 93% of Luka's field goal attempts are either from under 10 feet or beyond the 3-point line. Now, let's take a quick look at James Harden's shot chart so far this season. James Harden has over 97% of his shots coming from either under 10 feet or beyond the 3-point arc. So, although Harden is only shooting a pedestrian 43% from the field and under 34% from 3, Harden still ranks 3rd in player efficiency rating. James Harden also ranks 2nd just behind Luka in win shares. Now, don't think I forgot the 3rd ingredient for success with these guys, which is free throws. Combine this crafty shot selection with the ability to draw contact and shoot the ball from deep as well as the free throw line, and it's easy to understand why Harden and Luka rank number 1 and number 2 in points per 100 possessions, which is a very important stat to measure overall scoring by. So why do Luka and Harden play this style of basketball that seems like stagnant offense so much? Well, because it works. Harden has bent the rules for years as far as he can, and he's become an even better scorer, and I can't really blame him. He has essentially found little loopholes and just taken full advantage of everything he can. Why not take maybe a cheesier style of play if it leads to better scoring overall? Luka has just came right on over into the league and stepped right into the same mindset, and immediately it has paid off. Luka knew what it took to be successful overseas, and he knows what it takes to dominate in the NBA now. And for those of you thinking I'm taking away from their basketball talents, just know I'm not discrediting them at all. Their skill set is what makes this all possible. The reason more and more players are not playing this style is because, they can't do it. Successfully, at least. Skill set is what keeps the entire NBA from converting to this concept because, well, it's a very elite and hard to find skill set to have. And it mainly makes me notice how interesting the fact of how important creativity is. The creativity is what separates skilled players from players that can dominate the league. And Luka is the next player to take advantage of what James Harden has developed and turn it into something real special. He is just the perfect, and I mean perfect prototype for the future of the league, and unless the NBA does something to seriously make defenses better, there's no reason Luka shouldn't dominate the league for the next 15 years. For those of you that haven't realized, if it's not an easy dunk attempt or layup, it's pretty much a three-pointer. Even for big men now, having a three-point jumper is so valuable, and we're seeing guys nowadays who don't even look like they should have any type of touch from the three-point arc, capable three-point shooters, because it's a necessity to evolve as a big man in today's NBA. Now, before I get lost and start talking your ear off about the three-pointer and the NBA, just to hear me out. If you hit 1/3 or 33.3% of your three-point attempts and half or 50% on your twos, you're scoring the same amount of points per 100 shot attempts of both. Just keep that in mind. It's simple, easy to understand, and that's all I'm going to say. But let's get back to Luka. At the end of the day, we have never seen a European player come to the NBA at such a young age and develop into almost instantly one of the best players in the league. And we may have never seen any player develop this fast out of anyone. And the craziest part about it is there's no way to really tell what Luka's ceiling is. He's not really exactly like a specific player we can compare him to, and yes, I said his playstyle is very similar to James Harden, but it's still in his own way. He has crazy vision and sees plays before they happen, whether it be with the pass or shot. He just always seems to do what the defender's not expecting or not ready for. Vision and craftiness is what makes many NBA players that next level. Many good solid players are athletic or have good go-to moves or can shoot the ball well, but when you have every trick in the book and are unpredictable most of the time, it makes you an elite offensive player and almost impossible to guard when you're really clicking. Luka has every tool you need, and at just 20 years old, there's nowhere to go but up. Now, as far as Luka's chances at MVP this season, well, I just don't know realistically if the Mavs can be as good as most teams that produce an MVP, but I think they are a good team, don't get me wrong. I just don't think that they can take that next level without maybe a better point guard as well as some more quality players surrounding Luka and Porzingis. On the other hand, KP has looked pretty bad and they have been winning, so maybe once he gets going, they turn into a real contender. I also think Luka's numbers will kind of fall back down to earth a little bit, at least a little, just because, well, I mean, I don't know, but they most likely will. So realistically, end of the day, I don't know if Luka will actually win the MVP, but I do believe if the Mavs keep winning at a high rate, he will easily be in the conversation. But let's not forget, no one actually knows. Right now is that point in the year when everyone makes crazy predictions based on the short sample size of the NBA season thus far. We're less than a quarter of the way into the season and so much can change, so many things can happen. Many bold predictions will be made and yeah, some will be right, but some can also turn out to be so wrong. But one of those things that I am not afraid will be wrong is about how Luka Doncic is the future of the NBA, and he will continue to raise his own ceiling for years to come. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for tuning in, and until next time, peace.